myself. My name is H to the OV. I used to move snow.
Hello, fans of all ages. We are indeed the Beasts of the East. Ryan Morick and Scott Thompson with you on this Monday, September 28th, 2015. And first thing we got to get to, we're going to get into some Jets football. We're going to get into some Giants football, Yankees baseball, obviously. But the first thing we have to talk about, we have an NL East champion, and that is the New York Mets.
Oh, yeah.
Let's give you a quick listen from WOR on Saturday. Howie Rose was on the call on Saturday, and here you go, Met fans, rejoice.
The Mets sent out away. Now the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike three. Put it in the books. The New York Mets have won the 2015 National League Eastern Division Championship, and the Mets pile out of the dugout and come out of the bullpen and begin the celebration up the first baseline to the right of the mound. They're mobbing each other. It's not a wildly exuberant scene. They'll save that for the clubhouse.
There's a clubhouse celebration. So, pretty awesome. The New York Mets clinched the NL East for the first time in 9 years, their first postseason appearance since 2006 when they won that division. And we all know how that ended. It was Carlos Beltran striking out with against Adam Wainwright on the 3-2 breaking ball right down the middle. And Met fans, you have been suffering for 9 years, but it is finally over, and I believe this was worth the wait.
Yeah, every Mets fan that I was talking to was saying it's about time. It's about time. They've just had such a woeful past 9 years of woeful.
You
woeful past 9 years just trying to find some team that could get them at least into a wild card position. But this year they clinched the East on the bats, on their pitching, and it's just great for Queens right now.
Sandy Alderson said during the offseason that this team was capable of winning 90 games. And I said that it was possible because last year they won 79 games with no Matt Harvey. We didn't really know what Jacob deGrom was. He was a great pitcher last year, but he wasn't even close to what he was this year. No Syndergaard, no Matz. David Wright struggled a lot last year. Lucas Duda wasn't what he was this year last year. Daniel Murphy, he was pretty good last year. I actually think last year was better for Daniel Murphy than this year. But they had a lot of missing pieces last year, and it all starts with Matt Harvey, and we'll get into him in a minute. 79 wins last year, and think of how many times they lost by 1 run or 2 runs. 79 games is only 4 games under 500. So think of how much this team improved by getting Matt Harvey back, and obviously everything at the trade deadline we'll talk about soon. Sandy Alderson was very spot on when he said that this team was capable of winning 90 games. A lot of people looked at him and said, are you crazy? But the thing is, he wasn't crazy because they were missing their ace. They were missing key parts of the offense. A lot of people expected some people on the offense to jump back. And again, going back to all those times where they just lost by a run or two, those things get reversed. There are a lot of teams under 500 right now that could be easily 500 if they don't lose by a run or two.
Yeah, just going back to what you said about Sandy Alderson thinking that it's a 90-win team. He was looking at his young guys. He wasn't really thinking about Harvey itself. Look at his pitching staff. You have Matt, Syndergaard, deGrom, all these young pitchers really giving you great quality games, and just this young team. And that's why Mets fans, I hope you're happy because this could happen again next year. Hopefully, I think they really need.
They have the pitching to do it.
They need to make a big push for Cespedes to stay. They really need to.
I think they will. Because they won the division. If they didn't win the division...
If they didn't win the division, they wouldn't go after Cespedes. But now that you can see that he loves it, right, and the teammates love him, he loves everyone else. You saw how much fun he was having in the celebration in the locker room. He loves this team, and if they don't make a push for him, they're crazy not to.
There were a lot of stats about David Wright, his postseason stats that I want to pull up. And if you think about 2 people on this Mets team that you're that you're happiest for. They're David Wright, and the second one is probably Wilmer Flores with everything that went on. July 28th, he's on the field bawling his eyes out, thinking that he's going to get traded. Doesn't get traded. 2 nights later, he hits the walk-off. And we all know the story about David Wright. He's been on this team since 2004. He has not made the postseason since 2006. Here are some stats on David Wright. Saturday was his 1,159th straight game without making a postseason appearance. That was the fourth longest active streak behind Alex Rios, Jose Bautista, and Edwin Encarnacion. What else? Hold on.
Well, he's batting .307 with 5 home runs, 17 RBIs in 34 games. That's it.
Yeah, David Wright is having an incredible. Last year he batted .260. He only had 8 home runs. This year it was very limited. He only played 35, 40 games because he missed 4 or 5 months practically.
Yeah, but he was itching to get back on this team because he saw everyone having so much fun. He goes,
Yep,
I want to be a part of this.
Here are more numbers about David Wright. David Wright, has played in 90 games in his career in which his team was mathematically eliminated from postseason contention. 90 games.
That's basically a full season almost. Might as well be a full season.
It's like half a season. You're exaggerating a little bit.
Might as well be. That's how he feels.
But you get the point, though. I mean, yeah. Jeter, his last home game at Yankee Stadium, that was the second time he ever played in a game where it meant nothing. So I think Jeter's number was 4. He played in 4 games where his team was mathematically eliminated from the postseason.
Exactly. So he's making the best of what he has right now, and you can see his numbers don't lie. He's having a great September and the rest of this regular season because he's rallying behind all these other guys that are producing. Let's
talk about Saturday's game really quickly. You knew as soon as Lucas Duda hit the grand slam that they were winning. I saw a couple people that were very worried when Matt Harvey let up a couple of runs in the first inning or two. A couple people were worried, but then I said, your magic number is 1. You have 10 games left.
Exactly. Yeah.
Relax. I know that's the Met fan mentality where something goes wrong and then it's all downhill from there.
I don't blame them, though. They wanted it then.
Right.
If it says 1, we want that win so we can, get over.
It was just, I think it was destiny. I just think that you knew they were clinching on Saturday, and as soon as Lucas Duda hit that grand slam, you knew it. And then, real quick about Matt Harvey. How awesome was it to see him keep going out? You saw him go out in the 5th inning, and you're like, okay, probably the last inning. You see him go out for the 6th inning, and you're looking around like, what is going on? And then he comes back in the 7th inning. I was watching the Yankee game, and I turned on the Met game. It's in the 7th inning, and I see Matt Harvey on the mound. And I was like...
Did Terry Collins take a bathroom break or something? Did they forget to take him out?
I think Harvey went up to him and said, I am throwing. I've had enough of this. No more limits. No more anything. And you know what changed that all? The game on Sunday against the Yankees. Matt Harvey threw 5 innings of 1-hit shutout ball. As soon as it came out, the bullpen let up 11 runs. As soon as that happened, Matt Harvey said, I have to stay in. Because if Matt Harvey was throwing 4 or 5 innings in the postseason, this team was not winning anything. Now that Matt Harvey is throwing, you have to assume he's going to be throwing because there's no way he would just randomly throw for 6 1/3 innings in a game where you have 10 more chances to clinch. This was Matt Harvey saying, I'm staying on the mound, no pitch limits for me, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't blame him one bit because of that Yankee game. He left. I think he left and went into the clubhouse after that breakdown that they had. He wanted to give his team the win. For once, just let Matt Harvey have the spotlight and not have to worry about, Matt Harvey pitched well, but the bullpen, just completely gave up.
I like how no one knew anything either. It was not a story. It was a surprise to everyone. Because if this were a story, then it wouldn't be as special of a moment. It was awesome not knowing that Harvey was going to throw into the 7th inning, and he winds up doing it. And then You've seen the meme with A-Rod and Harvey and just about anyone who signs a long-term deal with another team. It says you either die or live long enough to see yourself become the villain or something like that.
Yeah.
That meme replied to Matt Harvey for 2 or 3 weeks, and then it ended on Saturday. He got a standing ovation from not only the Met fans in Cincinnati, but even some Red fans. And that right there said to every Met fan, don't worry, I'm throwing. And you know what? In the postseason, they're playing the Dodgers in the first round, and we're going to get to that matchup in a couple of minutes. He's facing guys like Adrian Gonzalez and Jock Peterson. He has to throw. He has to throw because this bullpen will not be able to do the job. Matt Harvey needs to give you 6 or 7 innings. And I'm going back to what we've been saying a lot of times. You would rather have 6 and a third innings from a guy like Neese than 4 shutout innings from Harvey any day. But now you're getting 6 innings from Matt Harvey.
Yeah, he understands his pitch count at this point. It's no longer, I'm mad about it. He understands his pitch count. He's going to make the best of his pitches. So you're going to see him not dancing around hitters. You're going to see him going at them so he can stay as long in as he possibly can. But like you said, this Mets team has been revived because of Matt Harvey, in my opinion. You had a lot of skepticism at the beginning of this season, and then moving on, he just showed you he was steady. He was a rock throughout this whole season. And that standing ovation is just, hats off to the Reds fans also who stood up. And, it's just been great for him. And I think it gets better as this postseason comes on.
Ryan Morick and Scott Thompson, we are the Beast of the East on WRPR 90.3 FM. Call in with your thoughts. Met fans, I know you're going to want to talk about this a lot. We are open to the phone lines. It's 201-825-1234. That's 201-825-1234. Going into the year, we mentioned it before, it was all about Harvey. And now you have the question, is Matt Harvey even the ace of this team? So, game 1, Mets, they're still battling for who has home field in that series, but no matter what, who is starting game 1? Jacob deGrom or Matt Harvey?
I say deGrom.
Why?
I say deGrom because you want a starter that can go at least 7 innings in the first game of your first series in the playoffs since 9 years. In my opinion, you need a win in that game, and I think Jacob deGrom gives you that best bet because he can go further. Even if he gives up maybe 2-3 runs, this Mets team has bounced back from deficits. So I think Jacob deGrom because you want that win.
Now here's why I think Harvey.
Okay.
He has better stuff. Matt Harvey has better stuff. He is a better pitcher than Jacob deGrom. Sure, deGrom has the better whip, the better ERA. He might even have more strikeouts on the season. This year, he's been their ace. He's been the better pitcher this year. But Matt Harvey is the better thrower. He has the off-speed stuff. Jacob deGrom is 70 to 75% fastballs, and that's being generous. Sometimes he pushes the limit and throws nothing but fastballs. Matt Harvey mixes it up. I think Matt Harvey is better at locating his spots. deGrom, I think, is more of just a thrower. I think Matt Harvey can pitch. And Matt Harvey, especially if this game is at home, that crowd at Citi Field, first home game, whether it's game 3 of the division series or game 1 of the division series, that crowd is going to be very loud. And if you have Harvey on the mound, it makes the crowd that much more intense. I go Harvey.
But do you want to rely on him for game 5?
Yes.
See, that's the thing. Even if he gets a little bit rocked in the beginning, that pitch count comes into play. That's what I'm saying.
The pitch count is gone. You can't be worried about the pitch count anymore. It's not. It's done.
I don't know. I just say deGrom for the first game. In my opinion, I say deGrom for the first game.
But do you think deGrom is better?
Better. He can be better. He spots the ball. If you watch his fastballs, he's spotting them. It's not like he's just trying to overpower hitters.
He does.
And you can't. If you're playing the Dodgers, you can't overpower the Dodgers. There's no way. Jock Peterson, Adrian Gonzalez are fastball hitters.
Yeah.
And they will put it out of the park.
But that's my point. They are fastball hitters. That's all deGrom throws. deGrom, I think deGrom is too predictable. Because all he does is throw fastballs. I think he's too predictable.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, I still say deGrom first. I still do.
We got Brandon and George on the studio. They should chime in. Go ahead.
I agree with both of you in a sense,
Hold
but I'm gonna.
Hold on. What'd you say?
I said I agree with both of you in a sense, but I agree more with Scott, and only for this reason. All right, you throw DeGrom game 1. If you lose game 1, you rely on Matt Harvey to win you game 2. But if the roles are reversed, you throw Matt Harvey game 1, they throw Kershaw or Greinke, which doesn't really matter which one, and they beat Harvey, then you're relying on DeGrom to win game 2. And then you have a problem because like you just said, I think Matt Harvey can definitely. I think Matt Harvey's better chance of winning you game 2 in a must-win game 2 than DeGrom has.
I don't think you can think about game 2. I think you have to focus on game 1.
But why? Because if you, but they're 1A, 1B. They're 1A, 1B.
Right.
So why wouldn't you take your better guy and throw in game 2 just in case you lose game 1?
Because what if you lose game 2? Then you're down 2-0, and that means absolutely nothing. But then
either way, you're going to lose both games.
Yes, but you want your ace to throw game 1, and I think their ace is Matt Harvey. You don't. It's like opening day. I mean, opening day is a little different because your season's not on the line on opening day, but your ace starts on opening day. Your ace should start in game 1. And I get they are 1A and 1B. It's not like the Yankees where you're deciding on Severino, Pineda, and Tanaka. Tanaka's throwing their first playoff game, whether it's a wild card, most likely going to be the wild card game. But even if they won the division, let's say, Tanaka would be throwing game 1 because he's clearly the better pitcher. But I think Harvey's the better pitcher. And I mean, if you think DeGrom is better, that's fine. But you're saying Harvey is better, so throw him game 2. That just doesn't make sense.
Wait, whoever pitches game 1, when do they next pitch?
It would be the next day.
No. The game pitcher throws in game 4?
They're going 4-man rotation, you assume.
So that means they pitch game 5.
Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard, Matz. And Neese and Cologne are probably going to go to the bullpen.
Wow. Well, all right, if they go to 4-man rotation, then you have to throw Harvey game 1 because you need Harvey game 5. But if I could see them going with a 3-man.
They're not going to go 3-man.
You don't think they'll go Harvey with a game 4 and then DeGrom game 5?
They're going 4-man. Because they do.
Right, how many days in between game 1 and game 4 do you not? Is it 4 days? It's probably 4 days, right?
Game 1 and 2 back to back, day off, and then 3 and 4. So it'll be 4-day rest.
They pitched that 4-man rotation over this weekend, and it worked out pretty well. So I think they're definitely going to stick with that.
Okay.
They're going 4-man rotation, and if they go 3-man rotation, it's almost a known fact they're going 4-man.
Yeah.
I completely agree with Ryan. I think you definitely pitch Matt Harvey, especially with the 4-man rotation. You want your best pitcher to pitch as much as possible. I don't think you could think about game 2. I think you have to think about winning game 1 and the series overall. And if you get to game 5, you want Harvey pitching because even though DeGrom has better numbers, you put Harvey with the Mets fans under the lights, he's going to shine because that's just how he is.
That's how he is. He wants the spotlight. I think he handles the spotlight a lot better. I'm not saying DeGrom can't handle the spotlight, but Harvey wants to shine, and we saw it on Saturday. He was the starting pitcher in the possible clinching game of the NL East, and he wanted to throw. And he did, and he shined. He threw a gem outside of that first inning.
Yeah.
I think DeGrom can win you game 1, though.
He can.
So like what George said, you can't think about winning game 2, but it's not like, all right, it's not like you're taking a guy it's not like you're putting Cologne game 1, like a guy who's significantly worse than Matt Harvey.
Right.
You're taking a guy who's literally 1A, 1B.
Right.
So DeGrom can easily win you game 1. And honestly, Harvey's going to be throwing game 1. I just think that with these two great pitchers on the Dodgers, if you throw Harvey game 1,
who the Mets can beat.
Yes, they can.
And we'll get into that.
Kershaw has shown he can't throw in the postseason. It's shown so far.
I don't believe in that. We'll get it again. We'll get
had success early, so I don't know. Harvey's probably gonna throw game 1 because I mean, like you just said, the Mets at home want Harvey throwing, but I don't know. I would think a long time about it.
Yeah.
But who do you want to pitch game 5?
Well, that's if they go to 4-man rotation. If you're saying they go to 4-man rotation, then you will need Harvey to throw game 5.
So then if
they
throw Harvey.
But what are you going to do? DeGrom, Harvey, Syndergaard, Matz, Harvey? You can't do that.
I don't know. I wouldn't even start Syndergaard, honestly, to be honest with you.
Wait, so do you intentionally start Syndergaard at home? Like, do you edit your rotation? Like, say the Mets finish with a better record than the Dodgers.
I don't think you can go based on home and road stats in the postseason. I think you're throwing this day. You're going rotation. It doesn't matter. Look at Dallas Keuchel. Dallas Keuchel is probably going to start against the Yankees if they play the Yankees. Dallas Keuchel is not a road pitcher, but he is Dallas Keuchel. He can throw the ball. Noah Syndergaard is a good pitcher. Is he a different pitcher on the road? Sure, but you know what everything says in the postseason? Everything is a 0.
No, I don't think you edit it because, like Ryan said, he is a pitcher and he's a young guy that needs to get used to this. Because if you're going to say you're going to be a part of our rotation for the next 4 or 5 years, you need to get used to this because we're going to go to the postseason and you need to pitch when you're supposed to pitch. We're not going to be like, oh, you're comfortable here. That's not the way it works.
If he can't throw, then he can't throw, but he can.
I literally completely disagree. Because either way, if you pitch Harvey game 1, DeGrom and Syndergaard are both going to pitch once in the series. So statistically, it would make sense to pitch Syndergaard at home and DeGrom on the road statistically.
And if he can't pitch on the road in the regular season, what makes you think he's going to be able to pitch on the road in the postseason when the crowd is electric?
Because he can still throw. The guy can throw.
Yeah, definitely. But you'd rather have him at home, though.
Yeah.
You would probably rather have him at home, but it's the postseason. You can't worry about. You can't worry about going by the binder. That's something Girardi would do. Terry Collins isn't like that. Terry Collins is going to throw you no matter who you're playing. No matter what. He doesn't play matchups anything similar to Joe Girardi. Is he a different pitcher on the road? Sure. Do the numbers say it? Yes. But you cannot edit the rotation because of that. He's their third best pitcher on that roster.
I can make an argument that he's fourth.
You could make the argument, yeah, but he's going to start third because he's just been in the league longer. I think he has a better sample size than Steven Matz, so we'll see. But you can't edit the rotation because of that. And it goes back to the whole, do you want your better pitcher starting second? Because if you think Syndergaard is the third best pitcher, you cannot wait on it. Because what happens if the Mets are down 2-0 to the Dodgers? Would you rather your third best pitcher or your fourth best pitcher?
That's a different story. If it's 0-2, you throw whoever you have best available. But say you're up 2-0, or maybe it's 1-1, and that's a game that you need to win. 1-1, you need to win. Syndergaard on the road.
Most likely, it's going to be 1-1.
Yeah, more likely. Yes, more likely.
You assume it's going to be 1-1.
One of them gets.
I'm taking Syndergaard. I don't care. I don't care about the road stats. The guy can throw.
Stubborn.
But his numbers are so insanely different. It's not like they're a couple points off. They're completely different. It's so bad.
I just think those things are more of a coincidence.
I don't think so.
What makes someone just bad on the road?
They get nervous because the fans.
They get nervous in front of the fans.
He always looks nervous.
I mean, obviously I haven't pitched in the MLB, but when I was at home, I was a lot more comfortable. When I go to somewhere else, I feel like I have to produce double what I used to do at home because these people aren't behind me. I have to show everyone up. So maybe he gets a little nervous. Like George was telling me, we were in the elevator one day, and he was like, he looked nervous. He was sweating. He kept wiping his hand on his pants.
Right.
He looked nervous in the road, but at home he's flipping his jersey and just kind of just going with the flow. So I don't know. I just think if I was a coach, pitchers are there to pitch when I call on you. That's what you're on this team for. So
if they edited the rotation every time he threw, then they would have done it. But Syndergaard has been throwing on the road. It's not like they skip starts all the time. So Syndergaard is going to pitch third, and that's just how it is. Now let's go to the matchup in general. Mets, Dodgers. Can the Mets beat the Dodgers? And I say yes, and here's why. Greinke and Kershaw are phenomenal. They're top two. They're two of the three NL Cy Young favorites. Them two and Jake Arrieta, without question. But the Mets offense can beat those guys. They can. The Mets offense has been one of the best offenses since the trade deadline. And then who do the Dodgers have after Greinke and Kershaw?
No one.
Brett Anderson,
That's my point. Yeah. The Mets can, without a doubt, beat LA.
But more than likely, LA's probably going to go 3-man, so you're going to see Greinke and Kershaw twice each if they go 5 games.
That's
because they don't have the pitching depth that the Mets have. You probably see Greinke, Kershaw, Matt Latos. Is that their 3?
Latos will not throw.
No, who's their number
Anderson.
3?
If he's their 3, that's pretty bad.
Okay, whoever's their number 3 is going to throw game 3, and then it's going to be Greinke, Kershaw again.
Right.
So you have to beat one of these guys twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be one of them. You're gonna have to be one, or each one of them once.
And you have to win Game 3. Against
And
the
if
third
you're
pitcher.
are a
Yes.
firm believer that Kershaw just can't pitch in the postseason, then you really have nothing to worry about it.
No.
Me personally, I don't know. I don't know why he's bad in the postseason. I just think it's some weird coincidence that he stinks. I don't know. It's
I
tough.
completely agree with you.
If you really just believe in that, like postseason, okay, he's bad. Like, is Madison Bumgarner really the best pitcher in the league because of what he did in the World Series? No.
So any player can go on a streak,
If you give
and
me,
he was lights out. Yeah, go ahead.
if you want me to choose a pitcher for a World Series, I don't care what your success is like in the World Series. I am taking the best pitcher on earth, and that is Clayton Kershaw. He's proved it time and time again.
So you're telling me that last year, right? If you had the choice to throw someone Game 7 of that game against the Royals, you would pick Kershaw over Bumgarner.
No,
No, but that's the thing. That was last year. That was a streak. We don't know what's going to happen this season.
I'm not gonna lie.
With momentum-wise,
Yes.
you would
Yeah.
want to go Madison, but one game, boom, this is it.
If I was
Clayton
to one,
Kershaw,
yeah, like
don't-
one game right now, I'm going to take Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, but Bumgarner's proved he can get it done in the playoffs.
Yes, but
Time and time again.
But Clayton Kershaw is a better pitcher.
But
I
some
would
guys
rather have
don't
the
know
better
how to
pitcher.
perform in the postseason.
But he just randomly doesn't know how to perform out of absolutely nowhere. The guy's a good pitcher. It's not
He's a
like
great
he's
pitcher.
a bad
He's
pitcher.
phenomenal. But I don't know.
But you want Bumgarner wants the ball. You want someone that wants the ball.
Yeah, do we know
He
that
wants the
Kershaw
ball.
wants the ball?
If
Bumgarner wants
he
it.
if he wouldn't want the ball, he would say something and say, "I don't want to pitch."
No,
You can't do
Yeah,
that.
you know, if you're
Why
the best
can't he do that? Matt
No.
Harvey did it.
Because if you're the best pitcher in the world, you don't say that.
Matt
you're
Harvey
not
said it.
getting paid $30 million a year to say you don't want the ball.
Matt Harvey was getting paid to what? He said he didn't want the ball
In what game?
in the last 3 weeks. That's why he pitched 5 innings for the last few
All right, that's a
starts.
completely different situation, right? That's,
Sure.
that's being hurt, not wanting to hurt yourself.
Okay, sure, but you can't say that Clayton Kershaw doesn't want to pitch. If he didn't want to pitch, then he wouldn't pitch.
No, I'm not saying he doesn't want to pitch. I'm saying there's some guys. All right, you know when coaches say who wants the ball hit at him, Bumgarner would be that guy. It's like I want the ball hit at me.
Yeah.
Kershaw, it doesn't look like when he steps on that mound in that postseason, it does not look like he is confident in his abilities in the postseason. I don't know why, and maybe it's just a coincidence that he just, like you said, it's a coincidence
Right.
that he just stopped performing in the postseason. But I don't know. We guys will find out this year, right?
It's like pain in football. Like let's say you have. No, I'm not going to say Joe Flacco. Who's like a good? Don't say Tom Brady because Brady's better than Peyton.
Rivers.
Like who?
Rivers.
Eli. Eli.
Oh, okay, perfect. Eli or Peyton? Super Bowl. Who would you rather have?
Eli.
Eli.
You're serious?
You would rather have Eli
Right
Manning.
now? Right now. Have you
Are you
seen
talking-
the way
Oh,
Peyton Manning's been throwing the ball?
right now, you want Eli.
Well,
but
you can't say that now. So say
mean
okay,
like 5
Aaron
guys?
Rodgers
No,
or
it's-
Eli Manning.
Aaron
No, that's
Rodgers and
different,
Eli
though.
Manning.
No.
That's different because
You have the best quarterback, in my opinion, in the league, but then you have a guy that has performed well in the postseason.
But so is Aaron
That's what you're
Rodgers.
saying.
All right, let's take Peyton Manning. When's the we'll take Peyton Manning last year or 2 years ago. Okay,
He went to the Super Bowl.
would you the year right?
Yeah, 2 years ago when he went to the Super Bowl.
Right. Would you rather have Peyton there or Eli for a Super Bowl? I would rather have Peyton because he is a
Yeah.
better quarterback. Has Eli been great in the postseason? Of course. But Peyton Manning is without a doubt a Hall of Famer.
I agree with you. Actually, I do take Peyton Manning. Eli is really good in the playoffs, and there are guys like that. Like I would love Flacco in the playoffs. He's actually a different player, but I'd still take Peyton. I still think Peyton's better.
Exactly. Like I was going to say Flacco, but if you would really rather have Flacco over Payne just because he
I
is
wouldn't.
1-for-1 in Super Bowls.
Flacco's done it once. Eli's done it twice. There's something different about Eli when he goes to the postseason. He gets it done.
The defense.
Payne doesn't get it done.
The defense the first time
Payne
was
is 11.
really, really
Payne is
good.
11 and I don't remember. It's like 11 and 12, 12 and 13
So,
in the
yeah.
postseason. He's proven he
I
can't
still
get it
would
done.
rather take the better player. I would rather take the
I'll take the
better
performer.
player.
See, I don't. You say 12 and 13 like it's a bad thing, but you're playing all good teams, and that's a flawed. Listen, that's a flawed stat because you know how many years the Colts got buys, so they lose out on a win because they're playing a better team because they got a bye. So, like, if you took all those buys and counted them as wins, his record would be much better. So, I think that stat's completely flawed.
And look at what happened against the Ravens at one time, where the Broncos defense completely blew a 70-yard lob by Joe Flacco. who knows what would happen if whoever intercepted that. I mean, I know it already happened. You never know, but still, I would rather have the better player. If you're very, I mean, nothing taken away from Eli or Bumgarner or whoever we've been talking about, but just because you are good in the playoffs, I still would rather. The bigger sample size is very important in my opinion.
I go with Goliath. I'm not going to go with David. You know,
Exactly.
I'm going to go with who I think is going to win. If I were to bet a game.
But then, like, there are guys like Flacco and Bumgarner, who I'd rather have in the playoffs than in the regular season, because those two guys, for whatever reason, they like the spotlight, they want the ball there, and they're okay with them losing the game.
It's not like you're insane for. I mean, when you said Eli over Peyton, I thought that was a little ridiculous because Peyton Manning is without a doubt a Hall of Famer, probably top 10 of all time, maybe even top 5. Eli, I don't even think he's on the Hall of Fame, but
Yeah,
I think he is.
you think Eli
think he
Manning
will
is
be.
a Hall of Famer?
I think he will be.
I think it helps him that he plays in New York, to be honest with you.
And he's
It
got
can either help or hurt.
And he has 2 rings. He's got 2
a lot of
rings.
football left in him too.
He does. He has a lot, but
He had one elite
I don't
season.
look at Eli and I say that's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever.
No, but like he could sneak his way in.
It's
You
the
know what I'm
Hall
saying?
of Fame. It's not the Hall of Good.
He could
He could,
sneak his
right,
on a
he
week.
could.
If he gets a weak class, he could sneak his way in.
If you're going to go by that Hall of Fame, he is famous for those 2 Super
Yeah,
Bowl
Hall
wins.
of
So-
intercept. He's like, I mean, a lot of his interceptions really are not his fault. And I mean, we're kind of running out of time here. Like, I don't want to sit here and talk about Eli Manning for that long, but he's not a Hall of Famer.
All right. We can get into that another day because I could spend a half hour on why he could be.
All right.
Honestly,
We got all right. Well, we got to talk football because we have to talk a little bit about the Jets. I didn't watch the game. I'm sure George did. So George, you're gonna have to help us out a lot. But from what I've heard, we saw a lot of old flashes of old Jets football.
Oh, yeah.
Dumb decisions by Marshall. Dumb decisions by Fitzpatrick. Bad passes by Fitzpatrick. Interceptions. This and that. And I think. Yes, I don't think this is the Jets' true identity. I think that the Eagles were a desperate 0-2 team who needed a win. So I give more props to the Eagles than I'm going to discredit the Jets. But the Jets did not play a good football game yesterday.
I disagree. I don't give any credit to the Eagles. I think the Jets lost the game themselves. I mean, you let up a punt return, which is a terrible play. They ran the ball well in the first half. In the second half, they couldn't pick up a first down for their lives. Brandon Marshall knows he made the dumbest play of all time. And the interceptions are just, it's just like, what are you doing? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
A lot of bad throws by Fitzpatrick. We were watching him before. A lot of underthrows. It was.
And Brandon Marshall was afraid he was going to get hit and just tips the ball up to the defender.
Yeah.
yeah. And going back with the wide receiver core on the other side, Devin Smith was getting thrown to a lot, and he wasn't showing what the Jets picked him up for was for those long runs to pull the ball over the defenders. He was a little scared on that.
It wasn't. I don't think he'd be scared. I mean, if you look at the throws, Fitzpatrick completely underthrew him on both deep balls. One was intercepted. The other one, I think, was just incomplete. But the Eagles scored 24 points in the first half. Didn't score any points in the second half. The Jets had that game to win, and they just the Eagles kept giving them the ball back with chances to win this game, and Fitzpatrick just kept giving the ball back. Granted, the last interception was definitely not his fault. And
I watched 3 minutes of football yesterday, so I'm relying heavily on you guys.
Fitzpatrick threw 58 times. They missed Chris Ivory
A lot.
yesterday, and that's why you're saying they couldn't even pay to get a first down. They missed Chris Ivory getting those yards that they could do like little quick slants or little bench routes.
Yeah. George, wrap us up before we go to updates.
Well, the Jets are 0-10 all time against the Eagles, just not their matchup. And the Jets aren't a good team to play from behind. They're just not.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't think what we saw yesterday is the Jets. I don't think what we saw yesterday is the Eagles. I just think it was a
Bad game.
bad game.
Yeah.
It's football. You don't play games on paper. You play them on the field. It's that simple. And, I mean, if you're a Jet fan, could you be 3-0? Yeah, but, George, you're happy with the 2-1
I'm not upset especially because I expected them to lose. I knew it was a trap game. I know the Eagles aren't as bad as an 0-2 team. I know that for a fact.
Right, exactly. There you go. Jets are 2-1. Eagles move to 1-2. Scotty T, update time.
All right, Roadrunner updates. Men's soccer this weekend tied 2-2 in an NJAC division rival, William Patterson. They moved their record to 5-3-2 on the season. William Patterson took a 2-0 lead in the first half, but the Roadrunners closed that gap thanks to goals from Bailey Young in the 67th minute and Justin Olaya. That's a hard name to say,
Yeah,
jeez. With over a minute to play, they will play under the lights at Rutgers Newark at 7:30 p.m. Wednesday. Women's soccer, on the other hand, they had a thrilling match on Saturday against William Patterson as well. They won 2-1 in double overtime. Alexa Ragusa was the star of the match. She scored both goals. Her game-winning goal was scored with only 33 seconds left on the clock. That pushes their record to 6-1-1. They will return to action Wednesday at 3 p.m. against Rutgers Newark at home. And special, me and Ryan will be calling that game. This is the first of many games on this live stream, so tune in, listen to that. Women's field hockey, they fell to King's College yesterday, 4-1. They moved to 1-7 overall in the season. Stephanie Gallo had the lone goal for the Roadrunners. The team looks to bounce back and get on the winning side of things tomorrow at home against Fairleigh Dickinson at 4 o'clock. Women's volleyball went 1-1 on the final day of the Skidmore Classic over the weekend. They blanked Sage College 3-0 before falling to Middlebury College in an intense 5-game set, 2-3. They stand 9-4 on the season, and they will take on Montclair State tomorrow in an NJAC conference battle at 7 p.m. at Montclair State. On the pro updates, the Yanks won last night 6-1 in the final game of a 4-game set with the White Sox. They took 3 out of 4 at home, and they will take on the other Sox, the Red Sox, tonight in the Bronx. The Yanks' magic number is now 3. Eduardo Rodriguez, Ivan Nova on the bump. First pitch, 7:05 on the Yes Network. Switching boroughs, Mets Hysteria, as we've been talking about, they clinched the NL East over the weekend. They did this by sweeping the Reds, and the final game was yesterday. It was 8-1. Jacob deGrom had another great start, pitching 6 full innings with 9 Ks, letting up only 5 hits and an earned run. The most... Oh, jeez. What the hell was that? No, yeah, getting a little buzz in my ear. Jeez.
Oh, okay.
But the Mets sat most of their starters, but they didn't let up on the runs. Dilson Herrera went 3 for 4 with the home run. The Mets will travel to Philly tonight. Cologne and Buchanan take the mounds. First pitch, 7:05 on SNY. NFL news, Giants got the first win finally. Thursday Night Football beating the Skins 32-21. They moved to 1-3 on the season.
1-2.
1-2, jeez.
Yeah, right. Don't worry.
Eli Manning threw for 279 yards and 2 TDs, 1 to Odell Beckham and 1 to Ruben Randall. And in recent news, Victor Cruz returned to practice and says he hopes to play against the Bills. I will see it when Sunday comes. Yeah, I'll see it to believe it. As we said before, the Jets fell for the first time this season to the Eagles 24-17. Darren Sproles had a huge game. He ran back a 89-yard punt return for that TD. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 3 interceptions a game. They're going overseas to London this week. They will take on the Dolphins at 9:30 in the morning on Sunday.
Great.
So, yeah, that's it. Ryan Mork, Scott Thompson, WRPR Beast of the East. You're listening in.
Here we go with our weekly Beasts of the Week. That kind of makes sense, right? Weekly Beasts of the Week.
That would make sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Scotty T, you want to go first this time?
I'll go first.
All right.
AJ Green, you ever heard of him?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
AJ Green had a game of his life yesterday. He had 227 yards, which is a career high, through the air on only 10 receptions from Andy Dalton. His longest was an 80-yard bomb. He had 2 TDs as well. AJ Green looked unstoppable yesterday, just winning on every route. Love it. AJ Green, hats off to you. No, please, I'm putting you in my lineup.
AJ Green got me 49 points, and I'm still losing in fantasy. And that's because my dad is an idiot, and he played Chris Ivory when I begged him not to. No, I have a haunt on him. I'm like, Dad, he practiced for 5 minutes all week. He has a leg injury. He's not going to play. No. What did he do? 0. Oh, what did they get? No, all right, you can go first.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, hold on, real quick. I'm losing because Chris Ivory got 0, Terrence Williams got 0, Tyler Eifert got 0. So, yeah.
That's what I lost too. Tyler Eifert got 0.
Good, awesome. Go ahead.
My Beast of these. Wow, I just thought it was on the spot.
Beast of the Week.
Beast of the Week. I'll definitely give it to someone that was also in that game. Give me the ageless wonder, Steve Smith.
All right.
13 catches, 156 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He was the lone reason that the Ravens stayed in that game, and definitely the Beast of the Week.
I'm gonna take Julio Jones. He's on all my fantasy teams, and I actually just love this guy. And he's not only the beast of the week, he's gonna be the beast of the season. He's gonna shatter all the NFL
That was
records.
a solid line.
What?
He's not the beast of the week. He's the beast of the season.
He's good every week. His stats are unreal.
Want to hear my beast of the season? Jake Arrieta. His past 11 starts, 10-0, 82 in the third, 10-0, 82 in the third innings, 39 hits, 4 earned runs. That's a .44 ERA in his last 11 starts, 14 walks, 82 strikeouts. That is just under a strikeout per inning.
Yeah, this Pirates-Cubs wild card game is probably going to be one of the best we've honestly ever seen.
Pirates-Cardinals series starts tonight. Pirates are home. So if the Pirates sweep, the Pirates are ahead of the Central. That
I still want to see Pirates-Cubs.
Me too.
wild card.
See, here's the one bad thing. But yeah, Jake Arrieta, my beast of the week. And here's the bad thing about the wild card. This is rare that it happens, but one of the top 2 teams in the league, one of the top 3 teams in the league will lose because of one game. I mean, you can't predict that 3 teams from the same division are going to make it, and you can't predict that the 2 wildcard teams are going to have the second and third best records in the league.
Well, why do you think they do 2 wild cards? I remember it used to be just the one.
Right, exactly. It's imagine they only had one. The Cubs would have 90 wins and not
make the postseason.
Be in the postseason.
Damn, how crazy would it be to see that young Cubs team in like an NLCS against either the Dodgers or the Mets? Like
I said
that
the other
young
day,
team is something.
I said the other day, imagine this: Mets, Cubs, NLCS, Blue Jays, Astros, ALCS. That's awesome.
Good for
just
baseball.
four new
That's
teams.
really good for baseball.
Yeah.
4 new teams, 4 young teams, so you can expect it from in the years to come. So that would be a lot of fun.
All right, so before we get into something I've never done before, I got to tell you guys this story about Melissa. I really hope she's not listening right now. She probably is.
So sorry in advance for what he's about to say. I don't know what you're about to say.
Yesterday, Brandon and I had our Old Braves alumni game. Brandon almost took me deep because I was throwing 62
No
miles an hour.
way. No way.
I didn't almost take
Yeah,
me
I had a
deep.
double. I had a double with the left circle guy.
I threw 4 innings in the morning, so I was throwing 60 miles an hour to him, and he almost took me deep. So anyway, so I guess it was a big baseball day for me yesterday. So Melissa and I are talking about baseball. And we're just talking about a lot of the communication that goes on in the sport. And for whatever reason, we were talking about signals. And I was like, 1 fastball, 2 curveball, 3 changeup. She was like, wait, numbers are pitches? I'm like, yeah. She's like, Ryan, I thought the numbers were the catcher saying 1, 2, 3, go. I said, Melissa, you never seen me go no or yes before? She's like, I want to pay attention. I thought it was 1, 2, 3, go. I'm like, Melissa, are you kidding me?
Tell the pitcher when they're ready.
And she's like, I'll tell her, like, 1 fastball, you hit your left leg to a right. She's like, what does this mean? This means go? I'm like, that means that you pitch inside.
So she thinks if you say you put down 1 and you shake your head, I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, she was like, how does the catcher always know that once a fastball is like Melissa? The universal sign for a fastball is 1.
They go over it.
I'm like, they call it curveball a deuce, so 2. And she's like, oh, I thought it was 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, Melissa.
That is pretty bad. That's the first time I've
Definitely
heard that.
sounds like something Melissa would
Melissa-
probably
that's
That's the
say.
first time I've heard that too.
Sorry, Melissa.
That was rough.
All right,
Okay, so a year ago today.
here we go. Take the stage, Ryan.
Just cry.
Stop laughing.
My bad.
Stop laughing.
He's getting really emotional. Let him be.
Whew. All right, so a year ago today, you heard us talk about it on Wednesday. This is the 1-year anniversary of Derek Jeter's final game of his career. And I'm not going to get into the career that he had yet. We'll talk about it later. Oh, that hurt a lot. Sorry. Oh, you're letting Mike in now? Oh, great. Everyone's going to be in here watching me. Oh, okay. So let me get the story straight. Derek Jeter, his last at-bat was against Clay Buchholz. He got the RBI single because, he's Derek Jeter. The guy's awesome. I have not watched Derek Jeter's final at-bat since I watched it live. And I'm going to do it right now. And I really hope.
Awesome.
Hey guys, by the way, I love Derek Jeter to death. He's been my favorite role model in baseball for years. Ryan, I honestly thought that I wouldn't meet anyone who liked them more until I met you.
It's
And then
rough.
you just really blew it out of the water, bro.
Yeah, it's rough. Someone tell him what I'm wearing.
He's
right
wearing his Derek Jeter respect with the 2 is an S shirt.
now. Love you, baby.
It says New York Captain Yankees. Wait, pull the shirt up. Pull the shirt up.
So, it has the Derek Jeter final
Time
season
to
logo.
celebrate.
Time
Too
to
bad Ryan's
celebrate.
not going to celebrate. He's probably going to go in a corner and cry somewhere. Anyway,
So I'm gonna play it for you, and then I'm just gonna watch it. And this is the first time I have watched. This is the first time I've watched this since I watched it live. Oh, I don't want
It
to
says
do
baby
that.
cry.
Yeah, hold on. This is hold on. Let me turn it on. This is gonna be me in gold minutes probably. All right, don't make fun of me. Here we go. Shut up. Oh, what am I doing with myself? I swear I haven't watched this.
Full screen.
Yeah.
I don't even think I watched this much.
Anything else? You guys want to talk about anything?
yeah.
So
just-
bum going.
I want you to notice that 86-mile-an-hour fastball that's in the left right hand corner. I mean the left right hand corner. The
It's
left
a
hand corner.
changeup.
It was a fastball.
Okay.
Oh, he like gives it to him. He does it over there for him.
Hey, it's all right. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Oh, this is rough. Should I just fast forward? I don't really
He's
care.
gassing 94.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Everyone's on the top step watching it. This is, what? What are you looking at me for?
Everybody wants to get a look.
Fast
Kind of shorter
Actually,
by
no,
1,000
how
hits
long
by
is it?
protection over 16.
It's like 5 minutes long. We got about 4 minutes left, and he hasn't even. Should I just fast? All right.
Yeah.
Situation like this because
You got 12
his
minutes.
contact
We both thought you
skills,
meant
his
his final
ability to
home
go
at
the
bat.
other way.
That's
I've watched that 100 times. This I haven't watched.
I would think
that-
the home at bat's more important.
It's remembered more, but like that's just. But that was like, that's
Put the
more.
barrel of
That
the
was
bat on the
happy.
ball,
This is
drive it
like
the other way, get a run
depressing.
home. The 1-2. Chop toward third. It's a base hit and an RBI for Jeter, and the Yankees lead 3-0.
Go with me. It's turn. Turn around. Go. Come to class. Brandon's not going to.
No,
Let's all leave.
Nah.
Let's let Ryan
They
sit here.
toss that ball into the Yankee dugout in case it's his last one.
It was.
Thanks, man. Thanks for ruining my day.
It was. Looks so majestic, doesn't he?
That
Right?
is going to be it.
Notice how Brian McCann was a pinch runner.
His final hit, an RBI single, as Jeter says goodbye to baseball.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks. You ruined my day.
And baseball says goodbye to him.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, man.
Marissa just texted me and goes, I've even seen this.
Dude, but she's like not a diehard. I'm like,
Ryan's the diehard.
I'm doing okay right now. It's because you guys were trying to make.
He tipped the cap.
Oh,
He tipped the cap. That's rough.
It was rough.
Does he wax his head? What do you think? I want to ask him that.
Probably has his own personal waxer.
Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter.
I'm doing all right. I'm really surprised right now. Guy's awesome.
Who's this scrub?
Shut up. 27.
What are they saying?
Derek Jeter.
Oh, I wasn't sure.
What else would they say? Someone wants to know. Augie texting me saying it's gonna be okay. Thanks, man. Oh, here we go.
And one of the greatest careers in Yankees history has just come to an end.
All right, I thought I was going to bawl my eyes out, to be completely honest with you.
Base hit.
You guys are making me laugh, though, so.
But talking about that, do you think that someone like Derek Jeter will ever show up again? Will have a career like that where you are chanting his name for over 2 minutes on his final at bat in the final game?
He gets the benefit of the doubt because he was a Yankee, obviously. I mean, look at, let's say, for example, Craig Biggio. People compare him a lot to Jeter. Craig Biggio was not as good as Derek Jeter. His numbers just simply aren't
Could you
there.
compare Cal Ripken and Derek Jeter?
Some people say Cal Ripken's better than Derek Jeter.
Numbers-wise, I think, is he?
Better power numbers, but Jeter was a better contact hitter.
Yeah.
Ripken batted 270, Jeter batted 310. But Ripken had like 400 home runs. Better power numbers, but it's tough. You don't
Could you see? Let's talk about, let's say Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
You think that at the end of his career, people will literally be chanting his name for over 2 minutes the way they did for Jeter
He could.
in a rival ballpark.
I don't know. They could.
Like the Red Sox. Go ahead. Drew.
I think in today's day and age, it's going to be a lot more rare because, like, Mike Trout could go for money, and if you change teams, your name's not going to get chanted. I feel like you have to be on one team your entire career.
And people are already saying that Mike Trout is going to be a Yankee. Same thing with Bryce Harper. Same thing with Matt Harvey. I mean, because they're the Yankees. They're just going to do whatever.
I honestly think that Bryce Harper can be a Yankee.
Bryce Harper will be a Yankee. He's going to try to be a Yankee now that he just got into a fight with Papelbon. Are you kidding me?
Do you see that? The Mets clinched the NL East, but let's not talk about it. Let's talk about Papelbon choking him out.
The two biggest tools in the league get into a fight on a team full of frustration. Not much of a surprise there. What, Mike? It's all right. You don't have a microphone. You.
I thought you guys didn't talk about the best team in New York, so that's why.
We did talk about the best team in New York.
Oh.
We already talked about the Yankees. I'm just kidding. What were we saying? I mean, you have to be very loyal. You have to play in a big market. Look at Todd Helton and Paul Konerko. They were on the same team for 15, 17, 18 years. And great players. Both of them are probably Hall of Famers. First ballot Hall of Famers, probably not, but not big markets. The Chicago White Sox are historically not a very good baseball team. Same thing with the Colorado Rockies. It's the Yankees, and the Yankees have the history with Babe Ruth and Mantle and DiMaggio and Gehrig and Yogi.
But then you say his name, and yeah, you're right.
Derek Jeter is at that list. People put Derek Jeter in that Mount Rushmore of Yankees, and to be in that title is unbelievable because look at the people the Yankees have had. And for him to be on the Mount Rushmore, we can make that into a discussion. Is Derek Jeter on the Yankee Mount Rushmore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Babe and Gehrig are locks.
Babe, Gehrig. And then who do you say?
Joe DiMaggio.
Mickey
And
Mantle.
then it's a toss. I think it's a toss up between Mantle
So
and Jeter.
if you go by, not just on field, if you go by off field too, the way these guys impacted, you definitely put Derek Jeter up there.
And
You
if
don't put
social
Mantle.
media were around during Mickey Mantle's career, Mickey Mantle would have been the most.
ripped apart.
And DiMaggio.
Ryan, did you watch 61? You would learn about that.
No, I know about it,
No, I'm
but
just kidding.
still.
I'm kidding.
We also don't know what kind of impact these guys had off the field. We weren't around back then.
Yeah, we were.
Were we?
Well,
We were
no,
around- we were around in
but
the
you
80s
can
and
look
the
it up. Mickey Mantle wasn't.
You know enough. Thousands of people went to see Babe Ruth's open casket at the Yankees. Thousands.
Yeah, and I bet Jeter will. People they will definitely win Jeter passes as well. So.
Exactly. And Gehrig, they made him. I mean, obviously he died of he was the first person to ever have this disease. But thousands of people went to his day, and that's where he said that he was the luckiest man on earth. And thousands of people were there. DiMaggio, I'm not sure. DiMaggio did fight in World War II, though, so he already gets a couple of stars for that.
And Jeter.
It's same thing with Yogi. We talked about it the other day. So, but player-wise, is Jeter on the Mount Rushmore? It's tough because would you rather have a guy like Mickey Mantle who is a power hitter but will give you 280, 285 seasons, or would you rather have Jeter, whose 162 average is about 12 or 13 home runs, but he will bat .310 for you in a season, and it's practically guaranteed.
So, okay, I don't like to compare players from different eras. What if you took Derek Jeter and you put him when Babe Ruth played? What would his stats be? Way better. You can't say they'd be worse. They'd be way better.
Assume because the pitching was it wasn't a joke back then, but
the hitters pitched.
The hitters pitched, and
did they have breaking balls that went 12-6 and
they had breaking balls, just not anything.
They threw fastballs.
Right. Like my brother and I talk about this a lot. Would Babe Ruth be good today? Serious question. I know that might sound insane. Would Babe Ruth be good today?
You can't tell.
Oh, go ahead.
You're good.
No, in with his physical stature and the way he's conditioned to play in a league like this now, no.
Probably
in
not.
my opinion.
If you get the proper coaching like we do today, you got the equipment.
I mean, it's who Wilt Chamberlain. Would he be a stud in today's basketball world?
Yes.
You think so?
He's a scorer. Scores.
But he was
in
also the
NBA.
tallest guy on the court.
Exactly. So a scorer,
But
that's also the biggest guy on the court.
Yes, but now you have guys who are 7 feet tall and ripped apart.
Don't care. Score. That's just their mindset.
You think Chamberlain, that's a rough example.
He's obviously not going to even come close to 100 points a game. Obviously, no one is going to.
Right. Going back to Babe Ruth, though. Babe Ruth was the best player in the league because he was a power hitter when power hitters weren't a thing.
No.
The home run record back then was 119. He had 714.
Because it was fastball, curveball. That's how every pitcher worked. And he was just a fastball eater. That's all he did.
Yeah. I mean, the top 6 and the top 7 Yankees for everyone are Babe, Lou, DiMaggio, Mantle, Jeter, Mo, Yogi. Those are the 7. The top 3 are Babe, Lou, and Joe, without question. 4 is a toss-up. A lot of people have Yogi on there. A lot of people put Mariano on there because he's without a doubt the best closer on earth to ever play the game. More people have been on the moon than have scored against Mariano Rivera in the postseason. I like throwing that out there.
So,
in one inning.
So, like you just said, would Babe Ruth be good if he played today? When you say that, do you just you have to go off what his stats were then because you can't tell?
I mean, yeah, we only have so many limited highlights. I mean, when you look at the stats, you say, oh, my God, Babe Ruth. But remember, Derek Jeter is the first Yankee to ever have 3,000 hits. The closest one was Lou Gehrig, and Jeter shattered him. Shattered him.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. In my opinion, you definitely put Jeter up there because of the field of play that he was playing in. As the eras go on, you will see better and better and better baseball. You're going to find a couple Bryce Harpers and Mike Trouts throughout, I think, every team. Because you're not going to find those guys like Babe Ruth that are the prominent power hitters. Everyone's going to hit for power in the future. Everyone's going to try to throw 95. You can coach these kids now. There's so many methods and everything else. So
August text says Shelley Duncan is on Mount Rushmore. That's Yankee Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, Shelley Duncan and
Low
Scott
key.
Brocious and Cody Ransom.
Shelley Duncan, Ricky Leday,
Cody
Scott
Ransom,
Brocious,
Aaron Boone.
Aaron Boone. No, Aaron Boone's legitimately too good. He's a hero.
Brett Gardner.
No, Scott Brocious got to be up there. Tony Womack. Mets Mount Rushmore. Darryl Strawberry.
Nolan Ryan, Tom Seaver.
Nolan Ryan,
Mike Piazza.
27 titles. That's all that matters. 27 titles.
What's the date today?
September 28th, 2015.
Okay.
How many playoffs did the Yankees clinch so far this season? They clinched
27 titles. 27 titles. Scott and I talked about this on the show the other day. You can say anything bad to a Yankee fan. 27 titles. Doesn't
the
matter.
best franchise in history.
27 titles. 27 titles. 27 titles. But this is what's going on in their minds on the inside. They just. It's time to end the show. Seriously. Oh. Hold on. There we go. Now it's working. Look at George pulling the whip. If we had a,
Let's get a camera in here.
we do have a camera, but it hasn't worked.
I have a final thought.
Oh, hurry up!
I believe that the Chiefs are going to win tonight.
Same.
Alex Smith, baby.
All right.
Alex Smith. You're in my fantasy league. Produce for me. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Beasts of the East. Ryan Morick and Scott Thompson with you. We also have Brandon Kurtzman and George Hunkley. Thank you for tuning in. We will be back on the air on Wednesday as The women's soccer team takes on who, Scott? Rutgers Newark?
Rutgers Newark.
The women's soccer team
3 p.m.
will be taking on Rutgers Newark on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. You can hear that game on WRPR. Scott and I will be on the call. And then you can hear Wednesday's show, Beast of the East, right after that game. So it is not goodbye. It is see you later. Take care and so long, everybody.
Next best team.